Page 22, Blessed Be Your Name. 4/4 time in the key of F major. It's got one flat, B flats. All the B's are flatted. Rhythm. Oh, we love this rhythm. Let's start with the right hand at the beginning. Now it has a 2-beat pickup, so we're coming in on beat 3. 8 notes, 3 and 4 and. 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and. Isn't this fun? Second line. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now they're saying for the second measure a 1-4-5. That's okay because then it's a 1-3-5 for the next one. That's fine. You're coming off of the 8th notes. Just do that. That's okay. You can if you want do a 1-3-4. And then a 1-2-4 for the next one. That works too. It's your choice, whichever. Just pick one and stick with it. Then the verse starts 1 and 2 and. Coming in on the end of 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We're playing on the ands. You just gotta love it. Again, and going on is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Oh, it helps a little bit, I think, at least in the last line, first measure, that the left hand is playing on the beat. So you'll notice that your hands are not together. It's left hand, right, left, right, because the right hand is playing between the beats. The last line there, the first measure, it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. I didn't go 1 and a 2 and. I'm feeling those 16th notes. There's 2 of them to an 8th note. Then the last measure on page 22, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. See, it's the same as the last measure in the second line, except instead of a quarter rest, an 8th rest, we got a dotted quarter notes, the same thing. That was 1.5 counts. And then the top of page 23 is the same rhythm we've had before. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3 and finally second line, first measure there. Page 23, the last beat, we get to play on the beat. 4 and, 4 and. So that measure is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. It's tied. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And then you get some more of the same rhythm we've had before. On page 24, the first line, we've had this rhythm already. Second line, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. At least we get quarter notes. The rhythm we can handle here. Second line, or the third line there on page 24. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. And then it comes down to the chorus, and you've had this rhythm before. Last line on page 24, 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. So you have to just real slowly count it out until you get an idea of what it is. Then you can start speeding it up. And the rest of it's similar to what we've already had. Now at the bottom of page 25, that last line, just 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now they're saying 5-1. I do a 1-3. You can do a 5-2 here or 2-5. It's up to you how you do it. And then the last measure, I do a 1-5, and then I come up and do 1 again. 1, 2, 5. If your hand's big enough. Otherwise, use theirs. Cross there. And when we do the play with me, I'm going to hold that half note 4 counts instead of 2. I'm just going to double the value. Well, the left hand is just helping out, keep the left hand soft at the beginning. You can do this 5-2 if you want, or 5-1, and then 5-1, and then 4-1, and that's 1 and 2 and. It's playing the same rhythm as the right hand. And then next measure, 1 and 2 and 3 and then a second finger on the last C. And that is not the same rhythm as the right hand, so be careful. And then the next measure, 1 and 2 and I'm just hanging on to it. And then quarter notes. Again. Fourth finger for the last note on 22, because you're going to go down. Reach down. That's pretty much the right. That left hand's just helping out, huh? Over on page 24, second line, second measure. You're starting the bridge here. It's 2-1, and then 3-1. You can do a 5 or a 4. It's up to you on the C sharp. And then I would do a 4-1 and a 5-1, and that's a C natural in that last measure. And then here, like so. And again, you got that all right. We're good to go here, I think. Watch out on the notes on page 25. They may not be what you think they are. So here at the top of the page, you're here, and then an E, and then you go all the way down to the Fs. And then up here, I do a 4 on the E. That's the first measure of the second line. And then another 4. Then a B flat, and a C, and then a B flat. Not nice. Then try to put the hands together. Be very careful with this rhythm, because it's just plain tricky. At the beginning on page 22, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. The second measure, the second line, 1 and 2 and 3. Going on, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. See, they're opposite each other. It's weird. Again, second line, last measure, when the verse starts here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. So it's just work it out very carefully. It will seem a little mundane and I don't like this, but stick with it, because once you get it, then you can start speeding it up a little bit and it'll actually start to sound like something. On page 24, second line, we'll start there. It's here. 1, 2, 3, 1 and 3. The last line, we're here. Let's count this out carefully. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's tied there in the right hand. Hold it down. Then in the second ending, this is like it was at the beginning. What you do not do, I hope, is you wait for somebody to come along and play it for you and then you just copy their rhythm. It's really so much better if you can figure this rhythm out on your own before listening to other people play it, and then you can compare your rhythm to see You know, are they playing it the same? They may not be playing the rhythm quite exactly like it's written. But you work it out both hands and you can gradually speed it up. Now the dynamics they offer are suggestions. So it's up to you on the dynamics. The beginning of this is sort of soft. That's the right hand. The left hand has to be very soft. And you're going to get softer then in the second line when the verse starts, or as you're approaching the verse. I'll get there in a minute. Give me a chance. So softly, you decide what this sort of soft is. It's up to you, but stick with it throughout the whole piece. Whatever level that is, that's sort of soft. And then a little louder. Now come down. Now back down to sort of soft. So just, it's the top note in the right hand that's got to be sort of soft. Everything else needs to be soft. And when we get to these parts, like over on page 23, second line, in the second measure, the words end there. You don't have any words for the last measure. Well, I tend to play that either louder or softer than the part with the words. I want it to be different. It's up to you which you do. Maybe since it's repeated, one time try it softer and another time try it louder. You'll decide which one you like. So in that second line, if I bring out the words, now, let's keep that soft, and then the third line. There's a difference between the notes with words and the notes without, is what I'm getting at. Or maybe you would prefer the part without words to be a little louder. It's like an instrumental part that could come out now that the voice is shut up for a little bit. So starting with the second measure of the second line, if I do that, it's this way. Now bring it out. Maybe you'd prefer not to bring it out. Maybe you'd prefer to subdue it a little bit. Maybe you just don't care and play it all the same. I'm trying to give you some interpretive ideas here to experiment with, so it isn't all just blah. Now on pages 24 and 25, they don't give you much of anything as far as dynamics go. You see something toward the bottom there, or at the bottom when you go into the chorus, it gets a little louder. You can go up to medium loud. There's not a lot of difference between medium soft and medium loud. You're just going up a little bit. And it's the right hand. Keep the left hand soft. And then over on page 25, second line, last measure, that diminuendo, that's the same as an arrow to get softer. Then you're coming down. You have to come down with the left hand. Now the left hand's already soft. Listen to the right hand. That dies away on its own. So just kind of follow that in the left hand. And then you repeat back over to wherever it was you went, where the reverse repeat sign is. You know where it is. Okay. And then at the bottom there, you're going to slow down and get softer. So the last line on page 25 here. Now get softer and slow down. There, we need some pedal to help smooth this out, but we don't want the pedal to get in the way because it can sure get really blurry quick if we're not careful. Now for the most part, I am going to legato pedal through it, and I'm going to change the pedal every 2 beats. However, there's exceptions. Let me experiment a little bit. I'll show you. At the beginning, if I pedal this part, the first line, legato pedal, I get this. I think that's a little blurry. If you like the sound, go with it. I can not pedal the 8th notes and try that. Make sure you hold the left hand down, it's a whole note. first measure to the second line, change it with the notes. Now, starting with the second measure, approximately every 2 beats. I am pretty much changing it every 2 beats at this point. I mean, how complicated do you want to make the pedaling? We can get involved, but let's not. Just every 2 beats. So starting with the last line on 22, it's here. Now over on page 23, second line, in the second measure, I pretty much don't pedal that at all. Yeah, clean it out. And for the next measure, I don't pedal the last 2 beats. You can pedal the first 2 and lift up. Now every 2 beats. They're only suggestions. You pedal it as you choose to, but this will give you some ideas, I hope. On page 24, it's the same stuff. Every 2 beats. And then the last measure, the first line, I don't pedal that. Now here, the next line you can pedal this. Every 2 beats. Now, second line, third measure. If you're gonna pedal this, change it on beats 3 and 4. Don't keep it down for here. No, change it there. And then again. So it's down, change, change, change. Pedal the 8th notes here. I just don't like it. It's too blurry for me. So, but you pedal if you want to. Top of page 25. Change. And the page 25, third line down. The second ending going on. It's here. Again, I don't pedal the 8th notes. Here and here. And you can go ahead and leave it down on that part. And then the pedal and the hands come up at the same time at the end. Like so. That's sort of, I mean, it's just my opinion on the pedaling. You can pedal it however you want, of course, but try and listen. First, you learn it without the pedal so you can hear it clearly, and then listen carefully to the effect the pedal is having. And be very critical about it. Don't use the pedal unless you have to. Now I'm going to do a slow play with me. If you play along, you might want to just play one hand at a time for a while until you're a little comfortable with the rhythm. It's up to you. I'll give us 2 counts because we're coming in on beat 3. Now, when we do the play with me, I'm going to do pages 22 and 23, and then we'll stop and turn the page, and then we'll do pages 24 and 25. Now on page 25, there's a first and second ending. I'm going to skip all that, and I'm going to play page 25 top to bottom. I'm not going to repeat or anything. I'm going to go straight from the first ending to the second ending. It's going to sound a little weird, but it's the way it is. Just know that when you go from one ending to the other, in this case, the right hand is tied. So I'm just going to hold the right hand down, and I'll just be playing the left hand as necessary until we get to the 8th notes. Now you'll follow me. You'll get it. Ready and go and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and page. 1 and 2 and ready and go and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. 1 and. Go on to the second ending. 1, 2 and. 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and. 2 and. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Hold 2 off.